Alright people, welcome to this video, and here we are going to understand how am I going to save the files and how to take the output from this Jupyter notebook. Okay, so I'm going to start a new notebook over here, and in new notebook I am going to rename it, and I'm gonna call it as like abracadabra, right? And I want to rename this notebook, and I can verify that this abracadabra.ipynb is available over here. It's running, and I can give some inputs over here, right? So this is a test file, right? And I execute this and I say I am going to download this, load this, okay? And I'm going to hash this out as well, execute this, and I say x is equals to 1 2 3 4 5 and y is equals to 6 7 8 9 and 5, and I say z is equals to x plus y, and I say show me what is z. After this it will say 80240, and I say what is z, it will give me the output, and I'll say what is b, it will say that I don't know. Okay, I'm going to create this, right? And I've saved this file. Okay, now if you go to file, right, then you get to see that several options. So we'll be running through all these options, right, which are most popular options, and it will help you deal with Jupyter notebook more efficiently. So what we want to do is we can click on new Python notebook, right? This is one of the options. So if I do this, right, probably it will open up a new notebook for me, right, which will be untitled as usual, and you can see that apart from abracadabra there is untitled ipynb which has been started, right? But we do not want to work on that, right? So what we want to do here is we go to file again and we'll say open. If I click on open, it will give me an option, right, which file you wanted to open. So I don't want to do that either. I can just wanted to create a copy of this file. I can do that. I can save it as a different name. It will give me an option to change this if I want to do that, or if I wanted to save and checkpoint or revert to checkpoint or print preview and close and halt, right? These are the basic options which you get to see, and you will realize that it is very much like an Excel sheet. Now what I want to do is if I click on download as, so there are several options you will get to see. Okay, now I'll be going through the options which you will be using most. So the most of the time you will be using these options. Like one option is notebook, which is called ipynb, Jupyter like Python notebook, right? And then you'll be using PDF or you'll be using .py. So I'll show you what this .py function is doing. So if I just simply say download this file as .py file, it will download this file and says my computer is saying that it is harmful, right? People may have some some harmful things, but I say I want to keep it. And if I open this up, right, if I just say show in folder, so it says abracadabra.py, and I say open with, and there is a by default IDLE. So once you install Python, this IDLE or idle is a default IDE which gets installed in your system, right? Even if you don't get it, you can use Notepad or anything, right? So it's very much like Notepad. I'll open this up for you. Now I'll just take a couple of seconds. So you can see over here, right? So this was the library. This is the test file. So you'll see that the contents are exactly same, right? So abracadabra, you see this is the test file. It's a hash thing, and then you can see, I'll just minimize this, and you'll see x, y, z value, which I have like executed. Z value I've asked for the output, b value I've asked for the output, and it just comes as a .py file. So this is the basic Python file which you can download and use it anywhere else. So that once you'll do the scripting, you'll find these kind of files very, very useful. But for now, we're just trying to understand what are the different formats we wanted to use. So I'll just close this down because I don't need this. I'll just close this idle as well. The second option which you may want to do is you can download this as a PDF file. So I'll just say via latex. It may ask you to install certain things. Right, so it will say error because latex is not installed over here, so I'm not using it right now, but I'll show you how to do it. The third and the most popular thing, which, or the most desired thing, which is download it as IPyNB file, right? IPyNB file. Just click on this, and once I click on this, abracadabra.ipynb file is being downloaded over here. Now what am I going to do? Right, I am going to save this and say close and halt. So this file is closed, and you can see abracadabra is closed now. It is not in running tab as well, right? So I'm just going to delete this file, right? So I'm just showing you how do you delete it and how do you get the data back. So even if I give you some files, how do you upload them back, right? So it's the abracadabra.ipynb. So I've downloaded it first, and then I'm going to delete it. Notice that I've downloaded it first, and then I'm going to delete it. Okay, I've deleted this file, and it says, are you sure you want to permanently delete this file? I'll say yes, I want to delete it permanently. Now this file is completely gone from my Google Drive, and you can see that in my Google Drive, if I'll go over here, and I'll say in Google Drive Python Learning SSA folder, there are only two files, right? The same file which you get to see. So my first Jupyter notebook you get to see over here, and untitled one, right? These are the two files which you get to see. Now if you remember, right, we downloaded that IPyNB file. I'll say show in folder. So it will show me where this abracadabra.ipynb file is. It's in download folder. So what I'll do is I click on upload button, and I go to download options, like this download folder over here, and I pick up abracadabra.ipynb, and I say open for that. The moment I do open, right, it will be like this, right? It will show you that we are going to upload this option on Python Learning SSA folder. I'll say click on upload, and now this abracadabra.ipynb is back in my system. I can click on this option, and you will realize that whatever code you have written earlier, whatever output you got, and whatever error you were getting for the particular line, everything is saved. Everything is saved as it is, right? So which means that you can see what output you got. Suppose I've executed some file 6 months back, I will be able to see which all files I have worked on, what files you have what you have executed, and what kind of codes you've got. Everything you will be able to see over here, right? So I'm going to download this. As you notice that I'm going to download this. This was the option which I have created over here. So I've got all these files back. I'm going to close this down once again, and I want to show you that this abracadabra.ipynb, is it back in my file system or not? So I'll go over here, and I go to my Google Drive, and I go to my Python Learning SSA, and you can see this abracadabra.ipynb file is back in my system. You can see that it is back in my system, right? So once I will be giving you any file to play around or to practice, you will be clicking on upload. You will be going to your respective folder. You will be clicking on upload, and after clicking on upload, you can pick up that file and do like the execution of the code. This is something which you can try out. Okay. Now, just to give you some more option, if you don't believe me yet, I can click on upload option, and I can go to desktop, where I have kept one file for you. This is the file which I have modified on 17 June 2021. I click on that, and I'll say open for that, and it says you want to upload that file over here. I can say click on upload please, and if I click on this G visualization basic, so you get to see that all the codes which I have executed back then with graphs and everything, they are still existing over here, right? With graphs, right? Whatever like command I have executed and whatever output I have got, I'm able to see all these graphs itself, right? You can see all these graphs which I have created for different students. You can see all of them are executed. Okay, so now I'm sure you must be feeling very, very comfortable that if I give you some code in IPyNB file, you will be able to load that in your Jupyter notebook, and you will be able to do the practical execution of it. Okay, now before we move ahead, right, I want to show you a couple of things. Right, suppose I'm going to write this command over here. So I'm just copying this command. Suppose I'm copying this command over here, and I say just don't worry about what I'm writing right now. I just focus on what exactly I'm doing. Okay, so once I execute this command, you get to see a star mark over here. You see that star option, which means your Python is thinking about it. It is trying to load the things, or it is trying to execute the command. So whenever you see star marked, it means that the Python is loading that data. Now if you feel that you are stuck somewhere, right, you can click on this stop button and it will interrupt the kernel, and it will say that that there is a keyboard interrupt, and it says that file is not being executed because keyboard has interrupted. Okay, now I'm just going to execute this one more time. I'm going to say shift enter, and you'll see star mark there. Once it is done, it will be executed. Now since I have executed this command 2 times, right, you will see 2 mark over here. Suppose I'll say x is equals to some number and I execute this, you'll see 3 over here. If I'll execute is again, which means that whenever you execute this number keeps on increasing, which means that at number 4 you have executed this command. It has got no meaning literally, right, but I'm just to make sure that you're clear about this, right. What am I showing right now is just you know, some option which you get to. So don't worry about this, don't get confused with it. It's very simple thing. So if I say y is equals to some number, right, some number, and execute this, you will see 5 over here, right. I'm executing this, I'm clicking on run, you will see 5 over here immediately. Okay, so don't worry about this number. However, this notation is very helpful. Suppose I say a is equals to some number and I say add, I'll say b is equals to some number and I say c is equals to some number and I say d is equals to some number, and if I execute these commands, and you'll see that this command has got no number over here, right, which means that I forgot to execute this command. So suppose if I say what is a, probably my Python will throw a name error, say a is not defined. Now this is one of the key. If you get the name error, which means that somehow Python is not able to catch, or you forgot to run a command indicating you know, Python that what is the value of a. So you need to be cautious there, and if there is no number, this file is blank, it means that you've not executed this command. Okay, so you need to be cautious about that. The second thing which I wanted to talk about is, so I'm just executing, so this 4 5 and then you see 6 7 8 9, and if I execute this will be 10th. This will be 10th for sure. Look at this, right, this is 10th. Okay, now the second thing about this is, suppose you've executed all these commands, right. Suppose I'm saying I'm just executing some data over here. Suppose this is my data. Don't worry about this, I'm just showing you the commands, and I say what is tips over here, and I'm getting some data over here. Let me just minimize a bit, right. I'm getting some data over here, and I want to clean all these memory clean all the memory of my Python. I can go to cell and I can say, right, I can say either all output I wanted to clear, or I want to pick up current output and I want to clear this out. Suppose I'm saying that I do not want this error to be printed over here. I can just click on cell and I go over here, current output, and I say clear. This particular cell will be marked as unexecuted, like not executed properly, right. However, if I say, suppose I'm saying over here, say what is a over here, and I say over here what is b over here, and I say what is c over here, right, and you get to see lots and lots of things right over here. So you get to see right, that you've got several outputs, right, which has been given over here. Now what I want to do is I want to clean all the output. I want my Python to erase all the things. I can just click over here and say all output clear, right, and then you see that Python has lost all the memory, right. So right now if I say what is b over here, what is b, Python will throw an error. It says that okay, it should throw all the error, but it is not, it is being cleaned up from here. However, if I just go over here and I say restart and clear output in the kernel itself, restart and clear the output, and now if I say b is, what is the value of b right now, it will throw an error, b is not defined. So here in cell, if you go to output and current output, you're gonna erase what output you got. This is one thing. If you go to kernel, which means the server which is noting down everything, and you say restart and clear the output, it will wipe out the complete memory of the Python. So these are the two options which I wanted to talk about. I hope you're getting a little bit more comfortable with Python. I'm going to save this and close and halt, and I'll see you in the next video. We'll talk more on you know, how do you manage the whole code. Okay, see you there.